Hello friends, Marc David here, founder of the Institute for the Psychology of Eating. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining me on Facebook Live. Today I would love to have a conversation with you about what I think is a really juicy topic. How much should we weigh? What are we supposed to weigh? People are approaching weight loss oftentimes with a number. They know how much they want to lose, and or they know how much they want to weigh. I want to get back down to fill in the blank, 130, 150. I want to lose 5 pounds, 20 pounds, 35 pounds, 50 pounds, whatever it is. So a lot of people have their number. Whether you're a professional in this realm or you're in this for yourself and your loved ones, how much should we weigh? So we're going to have a great conversation about this because I think it's so important that we break it down, because we as humans have this interesting habit. We just keep moving sometimes, especially in the nutrition universe, in the eating psychology universe, in the weight universe, and we don't always really detail out the concepts that we hold so dear. So, hello, Miss Allie. While I am waiting for people to hop on to this Facebook Live session, do me a favor, say hi in the comment section below. Let me know where you're from. I would love to hear from you. So just hi, where you're from. Feel free to send some hearts, send some love, send some likes. And we're going to just wait a few more minutes before I fully jump in. Hello, Miss Rachel. Happy Tuesday to you as well. I appreciate it. I want to let you know, here at the Institute for the Psychology of Eating, we are currently, as we speak right now, enrolling for the next class of our Eating Psychology and Mind-Body Nutrition Certification Training. It starts real soon, another month or so. So now's the time to apply. And if you would like to learn more, all you have to do is email us at info at psychologyofeating.com. We will help get you connected. In case there's any eating psychology coaches in this thread, or students, feel free to identify yourself. Hello, Miss Ann from Tampa, and Kim from Cleveland, yes. And Leanne, glad you're here from Australia. Thanks for coming by. So again, in a couple of minutes, I'm going to dive into the topic. How much should we weigh? What's going on with that? What's going on with the numbers of weight? So again, if you're popping on now, just feel free to say hi in the comment section below. Let me know where you're from. And I'm going to remind you once again, we're enrolling for our professional training. It's an 8-month online distance learning program you could take from anywhere in the world. You will get some good skills, my friend, good insights, good distinctions to work with: weight, body image, overeating, binge eating, emotional eating, endless dieting, digestion, mood, fatigue, immunity. Really a mind, body, spirit, heart, soul approach to the body, to our relationship with food. It is Sheila from, I don't know where you're from. Where are you from, Sheila? In LA. Glad you're here. And she's an eating psychology coach, as is Allie. Thanks for letting us know. And Ann. Danny, so glad you're here. Hope things are going well for you. Thanks for the love, everybody. Let's dive into this topic. How much should we weigh? Now, it makes sense that here we are as human beings, and we want to craft our physical form. I want to craft my physical form so it feels good to me, so I feel healthy. So I want to be in this body, so it feels right for me. That makes perfect sense. And we get so much input from the world about weight and how much you should weigh. So here's what I notice after being in the business of nutrition, of eating psychology for well over 3 decades. What I see is that so many people have a magic number. We got this magic number. Where does the magic number come from? I don't know always, but people have a magic number, and we give that number so much juice. We give that number so much power. I got to lose 5 pounds. Think of how many people you've ever heard say the line, I need to lose 5 pounds. Or how many people say 10 pounds or 20 pounds or 30 pounds or 50 pounds, or I have to lose X number of pounds by X time. What I'm fascinated about, my friends, is how much juice we give it, how much power, and how certain people are when they say that. It's like, I don't know, it's like an Old Testament God talking and saying, thou shalt not weigh anything other than this number, and thou must lose this weight. That's kind of what it sounds like to me. It has that kind of, just kind of, you gotta do this, otherwise you can't be alive. Kim says, I can't wait to hear your thoughts on your beliefs regarding a natural set point. Oh, man. Maybe I'll talk about that. I can't wait to hear that either. Chris, thanks for saying hi. Emily, thanks for coming by. So, here's the thing. Here's what I just want to say straight up. Let's first observe. Let's observe that this phenomenon happens. Let's observe the phenomenon that people get locked into a number. Now, what's fascinating is you get locked into that number, what happens? I invest so much energy in that number, time in that number, life force in that number. I invest exercise and dieting and calorie restriction in that number. Rachel, I'm glad you're starting the program in March. Thanks. Hanifa, glad you're here. Stratus from Greece, thanks for coming by, my friend. And Mike from Texas, glad you're here. So here we are, we're investing life force. To me, thanks for coming by. We invest so much life force in that number. And I know people, and I'm sure you know people who have gone through 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and I meet them all the time, who are still trying to hit that number. They're still trying to hit that target weight. They're still trying to lose that 25 pounds. Boggles my mind how we can go that long. Now, sure, you can have a lifelong goal, but oftentimes the lifelong goal when it comes to weight, it's our religion. It becomes everything for people. It grips them from the core of their soul. Leah says, I'm so excited to start your training in March. I'm glad too. Miss Leah, I'm glad you're in the training. So let's get down to scientific business for a moment. Okay, let's embrace the science. So what the science says about how much any particular person weighs is nothing really. Science, hard science, there is none when it comes to how much a human body should weigh. There is no agreed upon science of how much any particular human should be carrying around in terms of pounds. Yes, there are charts that you hear about. All those charts were generated by insurance companies, by the way. And what insurance companies are doing, it's like Las Vegas. They're manipulating numbers so they can win the bet. Insurance companies, when it comes to health insurance, car insurance, life insurance, it is literally a Las Vegas system. They want to beat the odds. So this whole thing about weight tables for your height, and from insurance companies, they could care less about your body, your health. They just want to make sure that they make more money than you do off your premiums. So, bottom line, my friend, very simple. We, the collective we, there is no hard and fast science about how much a human should weigh. And you know something? That's okay. It's okay. It is okay. But it's an important distinction to know if you, your friend, your loved one, or your client is coming at you with so much certainty about this is how much I need to lose. You know, when I first started practicing as a nutritionist, as a health coach, as an eating psychology coach, woo, business, booming for me because there's so many people who want to lose weight. So great, I'll help you lose weight. And I was just fascinated how many people would come in with a number and it's always got a 0 or a 5 at the end. No one ever wants to lose 23 pounds or 32.7 pounds. It's always 5, 10, 15, 20. You know what I'm talking about. But the energy that we put behind that number is fascinating to me. And that's what we have to watch out for, because when we invest so much of our life force into that number, we stop our life. We stop our happiness. We affirm to the universe, I can't be the real me. I can't be lovable. I can't be okay. I can't take a deep breath and just relax into this body until I hit the magic number. Interesting. And so we wait for the magic number. We don't wait for it. Okay, so we're dieting and we're exercising. So is that the same thing as BMI? I don't like the BMI number. I got to tell you, I don't find it helpful. I don't find it interesting. I don't find it useful. I don't use it. I freaking throw it in the garbage, my friends, because you have so many humans walking around that according to the BMI, they're obese. And they're not. They're perfectly healthy. They're fine. They're exactly the right weight that they should be. So BMI is the scientific way that we're trying to thread the needle so we can assess people. And that is all eventually going into insurance companies. It's going into medicine. It's going into how can we make more money off your desire to lose weight. That's how I see it being used. I haven't seen BMI change anybody's life. You show me one person. Oh God, man, when I understood the BMI and my weight and my BMI in relation to the chart, my life changed. Find me that person. Okay, so, but I'm not going to go there, even though I just went there because it gets my steam up too. A few people have said that. So, here's the thing. We humans can give numbers a lot of power. Let's just notice that in general. We give numbers power. You know, how much money you want in your bank account, how much you want to make a year, you know, how many notches on your belt for this, that, the other thing. So we often give power to numbers, especially when it comes to money, especially when it comes to earning power, especially when it comes to weight. We have to reclaim our power, my friends. On top of that, so many of the people who have the utmost certainty that I need to lose X number of pounds, oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes what they're doing is they've picked a number that reflects what they used to weigh when they were 20 and they're now 40 or 50 or 60. Or they picked a number that they weighed 5 years ago when they were 20 and they were exercising their brains out. They were a competitive, fill-in-the-blank gymnast, swimmer, eating the right diet, competing every day. You're going to keep that up for the rest of your life. I'm sorry. And we get state addicted. Isn't that an interesting term? State addicted. We get addicted to certain states. So yes, if you're addicted to alcohol, you get addicted to the physiologic state that happens when you consume that alcohol. It gives you a certain emotional and physiologic response. Well, it is interesting that certain kinds of diets, fasting, how many people have ever gone on a fast and at some point you feel great? And it's easy to get addicted to that state and you want to return there. Or you're doing a certain kind of dieting and exercise. A lot of people have this happen if they go into like a fitness competition and they're just really working on their diet, working on all kind of exercise, and you hit a point where you just feel awesome. And then we look at the number on the scale, we look at ourselves in the mirror, and we go, that's the place I want to live. Great, you know, and I want to live in the place that I feel, you know, when I have a shot of tequila on New Year's, but I'm sorry, that only kind of happens every now and then. So part of the thing is we have to mature. Really, that's what it is. We have to mature into the understanding that we can't get attached to a number, to a weight that isn't necessarily the expression of who we are right now, because the body changes, life changes, our lifestyle changes, your work style changes. Maybe you're a mother now and you ain't exercising like you used to. So you want to beat yourself up for that? You want to hate on yourself? You want to judge yourself because you weigh 5 pounds more? Or life changes, life advances, life moves on, and I'm not that teenager anymore. I'm not that competitive athlete anymore. Ali says, how do you think people come up with this magic number? Where does it come from? What are the common places? I think, Ali, what it is it's just this wave of conversation that goes through the world, through the culture, through the airwaves. Because I've heard so many people say, I just need to lose 5 pounds from right here. The 5-pounders, 99% of the time, want to lose it from their belly. Okay, whatever, but it's 5 pounds. It's this number that somebody came up with that sounds good. It's only 5. Geez, God, I'm not asking to lose 25 pounds, just 5 from here. And then we put all this energy into it, and that becomes our life. That becomes our religion. Or it's always in the background telling us, you're no good, you're no good, you're no good, because you haven't got there yet. So what happens is human beings like to have control. We like to have certainty. Because quite frankly, we don't live in a certain world, and we truly don't have control. You don't know when you're going to die. You don't really know when you're being born. You don't know when you're going to get sick. You don't know when it's all going to be great and when it's going to be challenging. We don't know. So life is uncertain. Humans don't like that. We like certainty. We like control. We want to know when things are going to happen, how they're going to happen. I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel safe. That's our psychology. It's okay. We like to feel comfortable and safe. So, numbers give us a sense of I'm in control. Why? Because I know how much I want to lose, 10 pounds. So I'm in control. So then when I lose those 10 pounds, I've got a measurable now. I can now measure my success. But here's the thing. You could also measure your insecurity, and you could measure your failure, because if you don't lose the 10 pounds, you have proof of why you suck. You have proof of why you're no good. You have proof of why you're not okay, because you couldn't lose that number because you look on the scale and that number's not there. So what happens a lot of times is what people are really doing, my friends, and unaware, unconsciously, what people are doing is they're using the numbers game when it comes to weight in a strange way to symbolically affirm, I'm not okay, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable. Who this is not okay. How do I know that? Because look at the number on the scale. It proves it. I told you I'm no good. Now, do we walk around saying that? No. But that's what's swimming in the chemistry of our body. Plus on a physiologic level, when we do not hit our target number, Kelly says, gotta get comfortable with the uncomfortable in a big way. We do. So what happens on a physiologic level is that when we're not getting the thing we want, when we're not hitting the number on the scale that we want, it's a little stressful. It's a little anxiety producing. We might have a little anger. We might have a little judgment. We might have a little bit of upset, all of which is registered by the body as stress response, physiologic stress response. Sympathetic nervous system dominance sends communication throughout our physiology to say, oh my goodness, I'm in a fight or flight situation. Brain doesn't distinguish between a real or imagined threat. So when I'm upset at self, attacking self because of the number on the scale, I am in a physiologic stress response. Granted, it's probably low level, different for different people. On a daily basis, for your entire existence, you could be literally influencing, impacting, and driving your body chemistry by what you're thinking and feeling. This is profound stuff, because in many ways, who we are, what we're thinking and feeling and believing drives our chemistry. And I believe 50 years from now, we will have detailed this out a hell of a lot more. And this is a damn good reason for personal growth. It's a darn good reason for personal development. It's a great reason to look in the mirror and say, how do I need to better myself? How do I need to improve? How do I need to grow in my maturity, in my character, in my understanding, in my consciousness? Because when we do that, when we're growing in character, maturity, consciousness, and understanding, and seeing the places where we limit ourselves around the numbers, in this case, weight, when we can start to see that, we literally start to change the body. Because when we're in that stress state that I was mentioning, you're producing more insulin, more cortisol, which signal the body to store weight, store fat, not build muscle, which is exactly the opposite of what you're wanting when you want to lose weight. So, my friends, we're in an interesting conundrum here. You look at the Health at Every Size movement, and they've compiled so much of the great research that shows that, within certain reason, I'm not talking about the extremes of weight, but within a certain range, which what science often calls obese or overweight, within a certain range, there is no clear evidence that being overweight is a disadvantage. Depends on the person. Science cannot decide if extra weight, what all of us are calling extra weight, scientists cannot decide if that's a disease, if it's a symptom, if it's a psychosocial issue, if it's genetic, if it is a positive indicator of health. Can't decide which one it is because it could be all those, any of those, and a swirl of those. Yes, for some people, having a little, what we call extra weight on the body will be predictive of healthy weight. Do me a favor, Google obesity paradox. It's a well-known scientific phenomenon. Scientists don't like to talk about this. Obesity paradox. So they're all saying, oh, you got to lose weight, you got to lose weight. And we don't really know the exact science because there are plenty of people who science considers overweight and they live long and they live happy and they live healthy. So the bottom line is what we're seeing is that we're in an inexact universe. And it's okay. So this is important distinction, especially if you are working professionally in this realm. Because if you're working professionally in this realm, people will use that number, I got to lose 20 pounds, to support their perfectionism and to support their belief that they're not enough. Now, okay, maybe someone has weight to lose. I'm going to tell you straight up, the way I've learned over the years, and it's just because I've paid attention to it, and I've worked with people, and I've tried different things, and I've had failures, I've had success. So you start to get a sense of, does this person have weight to lose? When you learn how to ask the right questions, when you learn how to look into a person's history, you start to see patterns. You start to notice, okay, wow, here's how your weight has changed over the years. What seems real for this person? What seems natural? Oh, sexually abused at a certain age, and a few years later, put on a whole bunch of weight. Oh, so that might clue me in that maybe this person is not at their natural weight because they endured a trauma, and it just so happens that people who have endured trauma, i.e. post-traumatic stress, often have the symptom called weight gain. And a lot of times they have weight loss resistance. It doesn't come out. You gotta sort of unwind the trauma. Now, but that's just one example. You can look at other people that all of a sudden, oh, okay, I settled down. I don't exercise as much. And I have now given birth to 3 children, and I'm a stay-at-home mom. Okay, so we're gonna have a harder time getting you back to the weight you were at when you were a college kid, just hitting it hard with exercise and hitting it hard with diet. So from that place, I need to help my client mature into his new place in life, their new body, because the body's going to change. And we have to change with it. Can you tweak your body in different directions? Absolutely. But we have to learn to do it from a place of empowerment. If you can go on a weight loss journey, if your client can go on a weight loss journey from a place of love, a place of self-acceptance, a place of inspiration, a place of empowerment, a place of loving my body into the destination I want to go, as opposed to beating it up into the destination where I want to go, then the game gets interesting. So, weight fluctuates. Weight fluctuates throughout the year, by the way. You take any normal, average, healthy adult and you actually track their weight, they're going to weigh more in the wintertime, usually 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds more, depending on the person, depending on their size. So weight fluctuates with the season. It fluctuates with climate. Weight will fluctuate with changes in your lifestyle, with hormonal changes. fluctuates with pregnancy, fluctuates with menopause, andropause, fluctuates with who knows what. There are so many factors. So we need to learn how to help each other. For professionals, we need to learn how to help our clients embrace the journey in a whole different way. I'm all for weight loss if it seems like somebody has legitimate weight to lose. Let's not get attached to numbers. I got to tell you, my friends, so many clients I've seen over the years who come in with a number, and I might work with them and their number might have been 25 pounds, and I might help them in an easeful, natural way over a number of months lose 12 or 15 pounds. And they don't lose the 25. And by the time they get to that weight loss, because now they're practicing a way of being, a way of eating that's nourishing, that's good, that's empowering, that's in alignment with the body, that's in alignment with mind and heart and physiology. And all of a sudden they'll look at themselves and say, this is great, I don't need to lose another pound. People will notice at different points when they made up a number. Because the body hits these places. The body, a lot of times people are like, I'm trying to lose 50 pounds, I'm trying to lose 50 pounds, and I lost 40 and I've plateaued. Did you plateau? Maybe. Okay, that's a good way to put it. You plateaued. Usually when we say we plateaued, what people are really saying is, I haven't hit my goal yet. Got to break through. What's the problem? What's the issue? Maybe the issue is your body only wants to lose 41 pounds. Why do we give so much energy to that number? We do it because of our perfectionism. We do it because we are caught in a consciousness, in a mentality that keeps us immature, really, in relation to the body. It keeps us looking at the body as if it's this creature that has to meet our humble demands. Weight is a teacher. It's a great teacher. At the very least, you can talk all day about, weight this, weight that, how to lose it, how to gain it. And the reality is our weight teaches us. Sometimes it's here to teach us about humility, Sometimes our weight is here to teach us we have to eat better. Sometimes our weight is here to teach us we have to learn to embody more and love this body. Sometimes our weight is teaching us that we have to really sort of look at our story and look at our past and look at our relationship to women, to men, to my sexuality, because that can impact weight. Sometimes our weight is impacted by the fact that we've abandoned our body. We're living in here. We don't live in here. So there's an infinite number of lessons that weight is here to teach you, teach me, teach anyone, teach your client, teach your student, teach your loved one. Infinite number of lessons. Retha says, love this topic. I threw away the magic number a year ago, now trying to focus on Operation Smoking Hot. That's funny. It's such a liberation. I can't tell you how many people I've met who get liberated when they let go of the number. You're free. That doesn't mean you might never hit that number. That doesn't mean it might not cycle back to you. I mean that. But liberate yourself from that number and then start to see who you are. Valencia says, I've abandoned my body for a long time. Good observation. If you see that you've abandoned your body, that's a great thing, because only you and I can choose to get back into our body. People hurt us. People say stupid nonsense to us. People abuse. People abandon. So that happens to us, to all of us. Most people I meet, they've been hurt at somewhere along the line. In a way, oftentimes the hurt that we feel from parents, from the world, from teachers, from partners, whoever, the hurt feels like, wow, you've done me wrong. The hurt can feel like an abandonment. One of the ways we humans oddly respond to being abandoned, hurt, is we abandon self. We reproduce the offense. We will continue to reproduce that offense within our own system until we unwind it, until we see it, until we start to notice it. So if you've noticed that you, your client, your friend, your loved one has abandoned your body, their body, you raise your hand and you say, hey, here's what I'm seeing. Especially for yourself, you notice, like, wow, what are the places I leave me? What are the places where I go adios to myself? And how can I stand by myself? How can I stand by this body even though I didn't hit my number, even though I didn't hit my target weight? Would you say to a little kid, you know, your little baby, I don't like you. But no, actually, I'll like you more if you get rid of this baby fat. Because you got a lot of baby fat. I like muscular creatures and people. So when you have less baby fat, I will love you. In fact, and you're a little chubby. Kids can be like this chubby stage. I like you when you're not chubby. Imagine if we got those messages, which a lot of people do. It's awful. But we do that to self. Those are the things we got to catch. Elizabeth says, I have patients that won't go to the doctor because of the scale in their offices and the perceived judgment. I meet a lot of people like that. I meet a lot of women like that. Thank you, Elizabeth, for pointing that out. The weighing becomes like this hazing ritual. It's awful. It's awful. I had a client once. When she was a kid, her dad was in the military. He was a high up in the military, and he was away a lot. And every time he came home, the first thing he did was he weighed her. Ouch. Beautiful woman, amazing woman. And it kind of hurt her for many, many, many decades. That experience of childhood, it's a shaming experience to be weighed and judged. This affects women. It affects men, I believe. I could be wrong, but what I've noticed over the years is the females of the universe have a particular sensitivity to being judged around looks and beauty and shape, and such judgments can land in the system like an awful toxin. And we got to get rid of those toxins. You want to detox? Detox from that. Don't even worry about detoxing from pesticides. Worry about detoxing from concepts and beliefs that pull us down. Such as, until I hit this magic number that I've decided that I should weigh, I'm not going to love myself. You shouldn't even love me. And let's all agree I'm unlovable until I hit that number. That's not good. Let's not live in that world. So we're changing it. You and I, right now, this conversation, we are changing that world. So many people are doing this. So many people are doing in their way, in their little slice. How can I change that? How can we create a conversation? How can we create a world where, yeah, we have the healthiest body that we're supposed to have? Set point. I don't like the term set point. I'm going to say that right now. And I'm also going to say that it's useful. Here's what I mean. There's all kinds of set points for things. There's a set point. There's a range of acid-base balance, a pH balance in your bloodstream. It has to stay within a very tight number. We'll call that a set point. There's a set point for body temperature. Go too high, go too low, we got issues. There is a set point for how much oxygen your body needs. There is a set point for how long your brain can go without oxygen. There is a set point for certain hormones in your body to help you function optimally. So the body, yes, will have a certain range, a certain point, and I don't necessarily like to call it this singular point, but in my experience, the way you know what your body's set point is you notice where it's hanging out. So if a human can adopt a relatively healthy diet, if a human can adopt a relatively healthy lifestyle and have a relatively healthy relationship with movement, the body's going to find its natural rightful place. What that is, we don't know until you ask the body. You look at it. Okay, weigh it. Wow, here's where I've been taking care of myself. My body hangs within the same 2, 3, 4, 5 pounds. Many bodies will tend to do that, but then you can have another set point after you give birth to a first baby, or a second baby, or a third baby. It could change each time. I know people who, they'll hit their 40s and 50s, and finally they're changing their diet, they're working with their health, and they'll hit more their ideal weight than they ever had before. So yeah, they'll hit a new set point. But the set point, really, maybe another way to say it is, the body has its natural places given the stage in life that we're in for a particular time. You know, certain stages in life, the body wants to be a little bigger. Sometimes the body wants to be a mama's body. Sometimes the body wants to be a king's kind of, big sort of I'm here body. Some men, like into their 50s, 60s, they get portly, and it's almost, and we don't call it fat, we call it portly. Now, portly's not an insult. There's something about it that goes along with that character. Now, is that right? Is that wrong? I don't know. But I notice that oftentimes our body changes in relationship to how our character changes, to how our persona changes, to how our expression in the world is changing. So yeah, I'm sure somebody could maintain the same body that they had when they were 20 years old into their 40s, 50s, and 60s, but then a part of us has to stay 20 oftentimes. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't certain people that keep the same weight. So it's a mystery, my friends. Let's just acknowledge it's a mystery, because different people have different relationships. Some people keep the same weight forever. Some people fluctuate like crazy. Some people go through weight issues. Some people don't. We don't know how much anyone should weigh. So because weight is so intimate, is such a beautifully complex and fascinating phenomenon, it behooves us that if you want to determine what ought I weigh or any particular person weigh, let's say you're a professional, your client, you got to notice. You got to ask the right questions. You got to take the right history. You have to see who that person is. What do they want? What are their goals? What's really important to them? What's their diet like? What's their life like? How can they legitimately exercise? How can they legitimately eat? And you intermix all these factors. What's their work life? What's their family life like? Because all that is going to factor in to a person's weight equation. What are the internal pieces that might be in the way of a sustainable weight loss for somebody who truly has weight to lose? Anyway, my friends, here's the bottom line. It's beautifully complex. And I notice that term beautifully because we want to simplify things so we can lose the weight. Well, just simplify. Just tell me what to eat. Ali says, right now my body wants to be more feminine, softer, less muscular. So I'm engaging in yoga and more feminine movement. Beautiful. That's just what I'm talking about. So you said my body wants to be oomph. You're listening to your body. Your body's talking to you. And it's, yeah, your body wants to be that, but you want to be that too. And you and your body are on the same page. So yeah, so maybe you're not going to be more muscular. So what does that mean? Does that mean you're less lovable? Yeah, you might be less lovable in the community of people who only want 8% body fat. So cross them off your list for hanging out, if that's what it is for them. So all I'm saying is for each one of us, it is a fascinating, fascinating journey. And when you have the right tools, by the way, my friends, and this is what we teach in our training. This is what I love to talk about in the training, because when you learn how to be a good detective and a good sleuth and a good listener and a good questioner and a good coach and a good guide in this realm, and you get comfortable working in the unknown when it comes to weight as opposed to the known. Yes, I will help you lose your 20 pounds. I'd never say that to somebody. I will always say to a weight loss client, yes, I want to help you get where you want to go. Because where people really want to go is they want to be happy. Where people really want to go is they want to feel good about themselves. So you bet I want to help somebody feel good about themselves and get to their biggest goal, which is not losing a bunch of pounds. Our biggest goal is to be happy, fulfilled, expressing our gifts. Here I am, life. I'm in this game. I'm going to do this. I'm giving my best. I'm hitting my potential. Here's the thing, so many of you have heard me say this, but I got to remind us, this is so juicy, it's so important. As we become the person we're meant to be, as you become the soul you're meant to be, as you hit your potential as a human, as you hit your potential in relationship, when you give your gifts, when you find out who you are and you express your greatest self, the body, our metabolism, has the best chance to reach its potential. Mind and body, they just swim right together in that way. So, for those of you who are interested in this kind of work more on a professional level, I want to remind you again, especially if you came on after the beginning of this conversation, here at the Institute for the Psychology of Eating, we are currently enrolling for our next Eating Psychology and Mind-Body Nutrition certification training. It's coming soon in about a month, so training is by application. Now is the time to apply. If you want to learn more, email us at info@psychologyofeating.com. We'll be happy to set up a time to talk with you, have a chat, and just show you where to learn more. I would love for you to learn more if you're interested. If you know someone who might be interested in this conversation that we just had, feel free to share this with them. If you or anyone likes this fan page, you will get alerts every time I pop on to talk about something that I hope is interesting for you. So, my friends, this is me with you, looking to have a conversation that matters, that's useful, that's important, that moves us forward when it comes to who we are and being our best self, whether it's body, whether it's weight, whether it's personal development. It's kind of all the same anyway. And when you wrap it up into the same package, things work even better. So I really appreciate y'all coming by. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the love. More to come, my friends. You take care.